I'm Ashlyn. I'm on the emerging technology team at Prudential, and I am so excited to be here with you guys this afternoon. We have a phenomenal panel, and I'm going to turn it over to Sharon to introduce herself, and we'll just go down the line.
Sharon Rodriguez, CEO of High Peak. We are a carve-out from Prudential, actually a startup in the AI/ML space.
Jake Christensen. Hopefully you guys can hear me as well. Yeah? Okay. I was a little worried if we're all being really loud, it's going to blow the doors off. But Senior Director of Software Products at Integrity.
Hey, I'm John Winter. It's good to see everyone. I'm the CEO of Kaizen.
And Dror Katzav, CEO and founder of a startup called Adidot. We're in the AI and machine learning space for life and annuity.
And so now that you guys know a little bit about us, we'd like to know a little bit about you guys with a show of hands. So if you are an agent or a producer, can you please raise your hand? And if you are here with a corporate entity, raise your hand. And if you're at a startup, let us know where you are. Not really. They're here. So, Jake, I would love if you could kick us off with just a quick overview of what are some of the challenges that today's agents are facing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to talk about something like this to a room full of people who are actively facing many of these challenges. But we know, we talk to a lot of you, we talk to a lot of agents in the work that we do, and it's a lot. There's a lot to worry about. Whether it is constant regulation changes, who enjoys that? Would hope no one raises their hands. You like the regulation changes? All right. Constant regulation changes. It's a very, very competitive marketplace. You know, the goods and the bads of that. And there's just a lot of noise constantly on technology as well. So, I mean, we're here at a conference like this. Everyone that goes out to the floor and actually sees the different technologies out there, it can be very, very distracting and just, you know, there's some positive, there's also be discouraging. Like, oh man, I don't know how to use this. I don't know how to get into this. I don't know how to deal with this. I'm not using it currently. And so that kind of just roundabout of noise can cause a lot of, you know, anxiety and effort to try and get there.
Anyone else have anything else they want to throw in there?
I'll echo what's being said here, where we have so much new technology from a generative standpoint and from an agentic AI standpoint. And the question is, how do we really integrate this into all of our business? From everyone that was here for the last session, they were talking about how there's an increased amount of competition that's happening, right? And how to protect your book of business by making sure that you're able to give people the services and the products that they need. When properly leveraged, this new technology really makes that easy for you. And that's one of the things that we've really focused on is how do you have a platform that helps bring it all together to make the challenges that you're facing as an agent much easier?
I think kind of in that, I'm just curious, and this is if people don't want to raise their hands, they don't have to, but just we see this a lot. Who does most of their business using the contacts list on their phone? Or using Excel spreadsheets, or using you know, paper on your desktop, or any other contact like Outlook, for example. So it's one of those things that you guys, it's something I'm always incredibly impressed with as we work with agents and agencies, is the kind of entrepreneurial way that things are being solved. So there's a lot out there. A lot of the times that kind of noise leads to, well, I'm just going to use what I'm familiar with and comfortable with. And oftentimes that results in very successful businesses doing it that way. But as you're kind of calling out, there also tends to be a lot of opportunities that can be missed with that. Who's also had to kind of sort through, oh, I've got all my family and friends in here with all my clients. And accidentally, because I've been on the receiving end of this, had a client name that was the same as a family member name, fired off a text to say, hey, can you bring the dogs in? And it went to like a sibling or a kid or it went to the client instead of who you meant to send it to. It's like, oh, hey, actually, that was just a mistake. But I'd love to talk to you if you haven't had a chance to talk to you recently. So that kind of just complexity, there are some really low-hanging fruit, easy ways to kind of take that next step. But it's definitely a lot to take on.
I think part of this abundance is that for years it used to be, I'm only using the tools that the carriers provided me, which were honestly very bad and very antiquated, or use the pen and paper, the contacts on my phone and things like that. And with the new wave of technology, there are 3 AI startups here on the stage, there is a lot more capabilities that you could start using that are cheap, easy, online, very easy to start with, and also very intuitive because we're using those AI tools everywhere else in our life. So kind of incorporating this in our professional side of our life just makes sense. And you're right that now it becomes a question of which one of these tools do I want to use and what are the considerations in using this and not something else that becomes really important. Our take has always been that there's a layer of these tools that is specializing in life, in annuity, in Medicare, specializing in insurance, understanding the domain better, and those are typically, also understanding the regulation and the products, and make it much more a much better option to start with when you are starting to look for those tools.
I think that there's 2 pieces here. One is there are basic tools for running your business from an operational perspective, and that's what everybody struggles with on a day-to-day basis. And then on the flip side, and a lot of what we spend time with, is what is our customer expecting of us, which has fundamentally accelerated with the thought that there are agentic AI solutions, and I get a customized Spotify playlist, and Amazon knows exactly what I need to buy when I need to buy it. And so what all of you are kind of tasked with is somewhere in the middle of I don't even have the technology tools I need behind the scenes to be as automated as I'd like to be as nimble as I'd like to be. It's still too complex. And then on the flip side, you're being asked to produce hyper-personalized information, to leverage that information in effective ways, to present your customers with the right solutions for them at the right point in time for the right reasons. And I think that's where the opportunity lies. It's the challenge, but it is truly the opportunity for everyone.
And I would be curious if each of you individually have specific use cases or tools that you find particularly compelling to help the folks who are in the audience.
Sure. I think starting with a definition of 3 really important areas building on what was just said. The first item is, let's talk about generative AI, right? So we've probably all heard of ChatGPT and the other tools that are out there. That is something that enables you to, in the purest form of its definition, generate something new. So it can do more than just generate text. It can generate video. It can generate emails. It can generate surveys. So as you look at, I want to reach out to my book of business and ask them if they're interested in potentially these other products, if the technology that you're using has the ability to generate a survey for you, that can take something that might have taken half the day and get it done in a couple minutes. So that's pretty cool. The second big component is going to be agentic AI, right? And that is when you're looking at AI that has the ability to complete tasks for you. Things that you're going to start seeing in your personal life is if you're looking to book a trip, you might just be able to use an AI agent that books that trip for you. But when you think about it inside your business, you can have AI assistants that help you throughout your workflow and help you save a lot of time. And the third component to this is your data. And that's the biggest challenge. All of this amazing AI and personalization and better experiences that you want comes from having great data. So from a use case standpoint, what agents and agencies need to do today is they need to make a commitment to a platform that's going to be their central CRM and data store. And when you're making that decision, you need to decide one that's open and able to integrate with all of these different tools that are out there that you also want to be able to leverage.
Good.
I think there are 2 lenses to look at this. One is, as we just heard, from the technology to the use case. I'm using ChatGPT. How do I use ChatGPT as part of my work? There is the other side of it, which starts from your needs, which is, how do I get leads cheaper? Once I get a lead, how do I convert them better? If I have a back book, how do I manage it in a much more efficient way because I don't want to spend money on this? If I have a customer, how easy it is to kind of pre-underwrite them and know to which product they might qualify and might not qualify. So all of the things are kind of the day-to-day challenges of being like in the field. Most of your agents, so we're going to focus, or producers, so we'll focus more on that. And using the AI and the tools to identify leads better, to prospect them better, to convert them better, to identify what's the next best recommendation from a product standpoint. It has a lot of data that come into this and a lot of models that come into this, but start from the areas where you want to improve. And that's what has been very successful for us when we meet with companies or firms or individuals, and they say, okay, I need to solve getting leads cheaper. I need to solve personalizing my reach out to consumers. There was an article, I think, in a Wall Street Journal a few weeks ago about Allstate producers using ChatGPT before they push the letter out, and how the new ChatGPT letters improve the empathy of the letters going to the consumers. And because of that, they had better sales. And this type of kind of use cases starts from, I want to have better engagement, better conversion, and goes back to what's the best tool to do it with.
Yeah. Just from kind of the different examples you guys give, for Integrity, we are a technology and IMO. We're blended that way. So that's why I said I talk to a lot of field agents, a lot of field agencies. One of the biggest things you guys said that I think is really, really important is there's so much cool, cutting edge AI. You guys talked about agentic, generative AI, different ways to streamline processes. If you're still doing a lot of your work in contacts on your phone or a spreadsheet, those processes aren't getting easily streamlined. So you kind of called it out. One of the basic things that we'd always recommend is find kind of that starting point. Find the platform, the hub, just something simple to keep your clients in, to be able to then take advantage of these things. Those steps kind of seem like introductory in many cases, but they're more like bedrock steps to take to have those things in place.
I want to be very careful here, because I think one of the things that's really interesting as we go to all these meetings and all these conversations is that everybody wants to talk about generative AI and agentic AI and all these tools and assets that can be used. Fundamentally, that requires change, and change needs to be managed. And it's not a silver magic bullet. You actually have to make the investment as an organization to focus your energies in specific areas. If it's CRM, because CRM is going to be the center of your universe and create the maximum value, that takes time. And I can tell you, I'm implementing CRM right now. It is painful, right? And I have 4 employees. But the process is incredibly necessary, because at the end of the day, in the absence of having a cohesive strategy for how you're going to collect, retain, and grow your information base, you have absolutely nothing to work off of. And so I just want to be very, very transparent that we can sit here and
100%.
sell all the AI in the world, but that isn't an implementation. An implementation is with all the folks here and the hard work that it takes to actually make the lift and the leap.
Yeah,
And actually on that front, in terms of doing an implementation, there are some ethical concerns that I think we need to think about. We can't just be throwing our data into ChatGPT. We can't just be using our clients' social security numbers to be training their model. Do not recommend. But I think as we think through implementing AI, there are a couple of questions that we need to be asking. First and foremost, what are you trying to solve? I think that oftentimes there are a number of things that have become digital layers that are just, hey, we're going to give you this shiny tool that's prettier than your spreadsheet. But then there are some things that are much more tangible, in some cases solutions that your companies sell, that might be useful to dive into in terms of how can we be using some of these solutions. So maybe you guys could each give the 3-sentence pitch on what your company does and how you help agents.
We are a data forward company. So what High Peak has is exclusive license to all the data assets of Prudential. And what we've done over the last year is really focus on what are the needs and the problems that we're trying to solve in the market. And really what we focused on is how do we help distribution, right? I'm not in the market for selling insurance. I actually don't care what you do with the insights I provide you. That's up to all of you. I'm not the fiduciary. I'm also not the broker or agent on any of these deals. But what we really try to do is put information in front of each and every one of you that you can find valuable in conversations with your clients in a very hyper-personalized way to talk about their life, their longevity, their healthcare costs, their health decisions, long-term care, long-term cost, and some of the choices and recommendations that you need to make in order for them to live a very full, fulfilling life as healthy as possible for as long as possible.
Right. So at Integrity, we're more akin to an IMO with technology integrated. We do life, health, and wealth innovation. And so kind of unique to the question you asked, we actually don't charge for our software. Our software is given free of charge to agents who are part of our network. And so as part of that, there's a couple, oh, thank you, yeah. As part of that, we offer a couple of different things that I think appear very, very timely and critical. So we narrow down to 2 or 3 things that we consider our main differentiators. One of them is it's a single platform to do everything, like you had called out, the quoting, the marketing, the CRM pieces. It's very difficult to implement those. We implement it instantly out of the gate for free. The other big one is we are very, I actually didn't want to get super compliance oriented because sometimes people get bored by that. What's that?
Does anyone want to get
No,
compliance oriented?
I mean, but you have to, right? So our system is built specifically around compliance CMS rules. That's why I said that those are so disruptive and difficult. We make sure that agents are covered. So HIPAA compliant, CMS compliant, FCC compliant, TCPA compliant, all the fun acronyms. That's what we do.
Awesome. So here at Kaizen, we focus on AI acceleration and really providing tangible value for you. So that starts with ingesting data directly from the carriers for you so that you have that data in your CRM and in your system. And then tangible, proven templates that thousands of other individuals in the industry have used to be able to grow their business. We are on the edge of allowing you to use generative and agentic AI easily, where it's all set up for you and you have a conversational assistant to start using this in your business. So that's what we do at Kaizen, and we'd love to speak with you all more about it.
And Addidot is a company focused on life and annuity. We've collected about 50 plus million policies, in-force policies, from our work with carriers to help them retain the book. And with that, we've built models to understand policyholder intent, policyholder behavior. So which policyholders are likely to buy, to surrender, to pay the next premium, to buy the next product, what is the next product they might buy, and so on and so forth. And use the AI to help you personalize the reach out to those individuals to increase conversion. There are a few questions around HIPAA and compliance and this and that. I think, as you see, products that are built for insurance typically do the extra mile of figuring out HIPAA and compliance and all these other factors. And people ask about how to reach out to us. So a quick shameless plug, my name at addidot.com. Feel free to reach out and continue the conversation.
And with that, we are at time. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you to the Medicarians folks for having us.